Hey everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs. This week I'm using the Storybook Garden Patch bundle from the 2025 Spring Mini Catalog from Stampin' Up. I love a good gardening set. I am a terrible gardener. I have a black thumb, but I love gardening stamps. So the card that we're going to make is actually a fun fold. I'm holding it down so you can see how it looks when it's closed. And then when you open it up, it actually has 3 different panels for you to decorate. So I thought this would be a good one to kind of, show 3 different little scenes. Of course, you could get even crazier than I did with your stamping if you wanted to, because there's so many options. And that's what it looks like when it stands up. This panel on the right side looks like it might be the same size as this panel, but it's actually smaller. I found that if I made them the same size, then it wouldn't close. So it's a little bit smaller than that one. There are a lot of measurements for this card. So there's a free PDF on my blog that will have them all listed there. And you can get that for free. It has supply list and measurements. Okay, let's start out with our stamping. We are gonna stamp and use our Stampin' Blends. So when you use your Stampin' Blends, you need to, I'm getting all my things, you need to use Memento black ink, okay? So let's start with our, I'm guessing they're beets. I'm telling you, I'm not a great gardener. They look like beets. Maybe they could be onions. We're gonna color them berry burst, so they're a little bit reddish, purplish. And then the shovel, or actually it's a rake, isn't it? We're gonna stamp also. Now I'm changing over. The next 2 things we're gonna do, we're not gonna color in. We're just gonna stamp them in the same colored ink as the cardstock. So pecan pie ink and pecan pie cardstock for the pots. And then we're gonna do crumb cake ink and crumb cake cardstock for the basket. All right, now I shouldn't have put this away because we do have a couple other things to stamp. These 2 we're not gonna cut out with the dies. So for that middle piece, if I can get that picked up, here's that middle piece. We're gonna stamp the little shovel, the trowel. There you go. And then over here for this side panel, this is the Nested Essential dies. Rectangle, basic white, and we'll stamp the strawberries. Okay, now let's do our coloring. Let's start with our strawberries. Let me bring over all my Stampin' Blends. I'm just gonna use good old Real Red. Uh-oh, I should have gotten my glasses. I no longer can function without them for anything up close. I know many of you know what I'm talking about. All right, Real Red Light. Then I'm just gonna take my dark Real Red and put a little bit of shadow on the left side of each of those berries. All right, now we'll take Old Olive Light and color the strawberries. Now the leaves, color the leaves. This stamp set doesn't have any words. So I have pulled from my stash a stamp set. I'll show you when we get there, and we'll stamp the words there in a little while. All right, I'm gonna use Boho Blue. Boho Blue is one of our in colors that's about to retire. So if you like it, make sure you get all the things, all the re-inkers for your ink pad, the markers, the cardstock. All right, one thing I'm gonna do, I like to do when things are silver, is to take my Wink of Stella and add a little bit of glimmer to it. That way it'll be a little bit shiny. All right, now those 2 we don't need to color. Now over here, I'm gonna take my light Berry Burst, color in these beets. I'm gonna say that they're beets. Do you guys like beets? I like pickled beets. You know, they're sweet and delicious. I can't say that I've eaten a beet any other way. All right, now take Old Olive again and color in all the leaves. The leaves are kind of hard to distinguish, like what's going on, because they're so close together. So I'm not gonna worry too much about any shading on these leaves. You can take your dark and I'll actually show you, and add a little bit of dark to the veining in the leaves. Okay, so you can take your dark, and I have found that the Old Olive dark is very dark, so you just want to go lightly, and this one is actually kind of folded over. So if you just add a little bit of that dark, that one's folded over too, like that, it just gives it a little more dimension. All right, back to boho blue. I'm gonna color in that handle, and then I'm going to take my smoky slate and color in it looks like a fork. It's a pitchfork, I guess, right? Pitchfork. And then we'll add a little bit of Wink of Stella. Okay, now we have dies for all of these. See all of our dies? So for the sake of the video, I cut them all out already. Right here, we've got them. Another thing that you're gonna wanna cut is a piece of crumb cake. That's this die right here. Put that right across the top edge and it'll cut your little dirt hill for you. All right. Now the sentiment set I am using is the Hope You Know. And I actually am using two different stamps. I am using the Hello Friend, which we'll put here. But on the inside, I am using Just Saying Thank You, Doesn't Seem Like Enough. Hope you know how much your kindness is appreciated. Now that's one stamp, but as you can see, I just cut it apart to make two. If you don't want to cut your stamps, you can always mask it and stamp them two different times. But I have found even if you do stamp surgery, you can always piece it back together on your block to get it back to one piece easily. It's like a little puzzle. All right, Hello Friend, right there. And then let's do the other ones. Hope You Know. We're gonna do the Hope You Know part on the inside. That's actually the second part of the saying. Hope you know how much your kindness is appreciated. And then over on the little rectangle, the stitched rectangle, we're just gonna do this one. Just saying thank you, doesn't seem like enough. And you know, those could be read in any order. I think they make sense the way that I put them, but they could go in any order. Okay, let's bring over our first panel over here. We've got a piece of basic white, piece of Daffodil Delight, and a piece of this beautiful yellow gingham designer series paper. It's just beautiful, and I'm trying to think of the name. Floral Delight, I believe, but check the PDF, you guys. I am the worst at remembering names. All right, now, you know, let's see. Now I think we're gonna do dimensionals. I'm gonna put dimensionals down here on the bottom edge like this, so we can tuck all those things in. So I'm gonna put that right there. And then let's start in the back. We'll start with our stack of pots. And we'll do that right there. And then we'll get our basket. And I'm putting the dimensional on the left side of the basket so that it can be even with that one. All right, and then we're gonna need a big dimensional and a mini dimensional, which I have somewhere over here. Oops, I got two. Okay, I'll put that one like that. And then these guys, I'm actually gonna use glue dots on these. So let me get glue dot off camera. And I'm just gonna stick that glue dot right on the back. Did I get it? Yep. And I'm gonna put one of them in the little slit there, like it's being picked out of the dirt. Okay, isn't that cute? And then this one we could put a dimensional on and slide it back here like this. All right, so fun. All right, now let's just take some linen thread, and I'm just gonna tie a little bow. We don't want it to overpower our card. Scissors, boop, boop, glue dot again, And we're gonna put that right there. Okay, so now let's get the rest of the pieces for our card. Let me move everything out of the way. The first thing that you're gonna need is a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm gonna take 1 inch by 4 inch strips of DSP and put them on either edge. Now, when I first made this card, I did a whole 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, but you really don't need it because all you're gonna see are those edge pieces. Then you need a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece, Daffodil Delight, and we're gonna score it at 2, 3 3/4, 7 1/4, and 9. Okay, and we're gonna fold the inside score lines in and the outside score lines out. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And we're gonna put adhesive right here and put that, center it right there. All right, so now we'll take our first panel that we just made and we're gonna put that right there. Okay, like that. Now let's do our other panel. Again, we've got the same pieces, just a little bit smaller. I believe the white is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Daffodil Delight is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, which would make the DSP 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Get your dimensionals. And we'll put that right there. And then we're gonna put that here. Again, we're gonna put on the inside corners like that. Okay, let's make sure it closes. There we go. Actually, I did it the wrong. Let's see, let's move it in a little bit. Make sure it closes. There we go. Okay. Now we'll put the designer series paper. I need to check my measurements. It seems like maybe it needs to be a little bit skinnier, don't you think? I think this actually, instead of 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, needs to be 3 1/2 this way. I'll fix it on the measurements, on the measurement sheet. All right. And that one goes right there in the middle. And so there's what your paper, your card looks like. Outstretched and then closed down, it looks like that. Yeah, see, that one needs to be 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. That's why I don't like to do measurements during my videos, because sometimes I get them wrong and I have to go fix them. All right, I'll have them right on the PDF. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. There's the correct one. I hope you enjoyed this card. And if you don't want to use this with a garden bundle, you could use it. I mean, you could use any stamps, any theme to make this 3-paneled fun fold card. All right, thanks for joining me. Make sure you grab that free PDF. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.